Yeah, he was a good guy, you know. He used to come down to my office at GQ and take his shirt off and show me his latest tattoo.
Happy days.
No, but he had no one else to do that with, the company. I served a purpose. Look at this. And he'd have to shut the windows, he'd be stripping off.
How long were you actually there for? It wasn't very long.
Well, whilst he was getting his shirt off.
No. Well, yeah,
I was actually there for 18 months, but the speed I worked at, we did a lot in that time. I saw a photo recently of the staff, and I counted up how many I'd hired, and half of them, 16 of the staff I'd hired, found, appointed. I discovered Jamie Oliver.
That's right, yeah.
So, sorry about that if you're not a fan, but I gave Jamie his first work. He was a chef at the River Cafe, and 2 different people told me about him. Said there's this great kid, and I think they're doing pilots to be on Channel 4. Yeah. So I sent Yestin, who was one of our editors, down, and he went and met him, and he gave Yestin a massive bag of, I thought he was going to say magic mushrooms, but it was those things that pigs, truffles, yeah, it was like a massive bag of that, and he said he's spot on for us. So Yestin vetted him, and then we got him. Hired Tony Parsons again. I try to get the blonde writing partner of my flatmate to come and write about shooting elephants, and then that was Boris Johnson. He didn't. I don't think Boris went for that. Fair play. He didn't want to shoot elephants, and not that they were going to shoot any. Just a piece about that sort of industry, and totally redesigned it. Got its first publishing award in 6 years, and started, I think, all Man of the Year, which is massive now. So I did quite a lot.
But then?
Oh, well, there'd been a few issues about tone. There'd been a parody of Bridget Jones's diary about one of the Nazis. That hadn't gone down well. That was written by a young Asian boy, Sanjif. It was pretty funny, but that hadn't gone down well at all, and I got a warning about that. And then there was a picture of a guy who died in the... No, but you've got to realise, I was used to editing Loaded, doing what the fuck I wanted, and actually the difference between something like Loaded and GQ is Loaded was about the customer, the readers, and it just happened that they ended up making a couple of £1 million in advertising a month.
Yeah, sure.
That was like an afterthought, and GQ was about the advertisers, and that's what those magazines were about. It's an advertising-led luxury brands.
Sure.
And there was a picture of a guy who died during the Tour of France, and there was blood coming out. It wasn't a particularly... I didn't even know he was dead. He was just lying there with blood coming out of his knee. That hadn't gone down well. Oh. So I done a couple of warnings about tone, and then we printed the 100 best dressed man ever. And we did it on a vox pop, and I've never talked about this actually because the lawyers told me not to, but what actually happened was we did a vox pop, and about 30 to 50 writers sent these things in, and fucking loads of them put the Nazis. Loads of them. Wasn't he was kind of like, I didn't actually write the copy. Yeah. And because the perception was Clint Eastwood, Where Eagles Dare.
Yeah.
That's what young men who have got no connection to the Second World War. Yeah. That's how we've seen, apart from World at War, everything you've learnt about at that point, before all the History Channel and all of that, your only experience of what really went on. I'm not trying to make an excuse, but actually how you kind of see those people as in war films. So we put that in, and being a Jewish company, that was like the last straw, really.
So even though you'd been told to tone it down,
Just wasn't paying attention to the tone of voice.
Oh, okay.
And I was the editor. I wasn't around when it got passed.
Right, okay.
Which wasn't good, but on the upside, they spent an awful lot of money getting me through rehab, which was very good of them. So that was an absolute bonus,
How long were you in rehab for?
Well, on and off for about August till January. Right. But I didn't go residential because I thought I wouldn't be able to do the job then. That was pretty hard.
Yeah.
And editing the mag and doing that from August till January.
What was it that got you through that then, going through
just one in the end, one in it. I had a fight in New York with a dealer, and street dealer, and I just wanted it to stop. And I couldn't stop. I was powerless over the lifestyle that I had. And the fella that I was seeing 2 or 3 hours a week said, you sound scared of yourself. And that was my moment of clarity. And actually he did this brilliant thing with a clock. And I've never said this in public before. I talk about this with like friends who need help or whatever, or on the sort of same path that I've gone down. And he drew this clock, and he said, this is past, this is bottoming out. He said to me, you are a drug addict and alcoholic. And after 6 months, I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, all right, cheers, thanks for telling me that. He said, why didn't you tell me that when I started? He said, because you'd have walked out. He said, I knew the moment you walked in. And what you don't see is people who've got those problems. I'm sure people here who have had similar issues may still have them, or have known friends or family who've got this. It's what the people don't see. It's what happens when everyone goes home at closing time and you're still out till 6, Joe. And so it's just amazing. I'm not inferring you and alcohol. I know he's actually a train driver, so he's not. He doesn't even drink you don't drink anymore whilst you're driving, do you? But he did say he was going out till 6 a.m. and I thought I might go with him. It sounds quite attractive. So he's not going to go, by the way. He's not going to. No, I might go. But the
he's not going to go.
Clive, the counsellor, said 6 o'clock on the clock is rock bottom. And I said, what is that? And he said, that's when you die, are raped, are imprisoned, put in an institution, lose your mind, lose your clothes, lose everything you've got, your respect of your family, your friends, your belongings. That's when you can't go any lower. He said, if you're lucky, you come out of that and you get back and you get into a better life or a different life. And I was like, fucking hell, where am I? And he said, you're coming up to about 25 past.
Right.
He said, you've still got a nice wife, you've got a job, but, you're heading that way. And that scared me so much, that and the pretty extreme weekend I'd had in New York. And that was it. That was the rock bottom for me, that conversation. And that was 16 years ago. I haven't had a drink since then. So, that's good. Now you play the Simon Bates music. But you see, the thing is, when you, Loaded was an excuse to behave like that and accentuate, and at GQ it just got worse because I was getting paid a lot more, and by then people just used to give me stuff because I was famous then. So anyway, fucking hell, we've been doing this for ages. I've got three more things are ruined yet.
Sure, yeah, we've been doing it. We've been here for an hour now.
But you know what? That's the most important thing, because I wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
I have quite a few friends that aren't here.
Yeah.
Because they're not in Leeds tonight, but there are But I've got some friends that are here that remember what it was like when I was blacking out, drinking, or smashing up barbecues, or vomiting, or having panic attacks, or whatever. So, I know that's normal fare for Dave Beer, but
Dave's not here. Where is
I
he?
couldn't getting over a night like that, But I couldn't, it just wears you out in the end.